Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is 4:05, and we would like to start our webinar now. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you who have joined our webinar. And this is the first webinar that we've organized to basically educate our clientele on how to do online trading on our Atrad platform, which is a very useful tool that is there for online trading, and it is a request that we've got actually from a number of clients that has opened accounts with us. So with that, I would like to say that we've, as First Capital, we have organized many research webinars. Last month, we organized a webinar on the life insurance sector report that we conducted, and also a discussion on the port city. And then coming up towards the end of this month or early next month, you would see another webinar on the media outlook and possibly on the energy sector as well. So with this, that is another useful aspect for our investors to join these webinars and educate yourselves on what are the trading opportunities that is there in the market. Also, before we get into the webinar, I would like to inform once again for our clients who are yet to join, you can join through the Zoom link that we have sent to you, or whoever who could not register, you can also join through our Facebook Live. We are live streaming this webinar. And also regarding the Q&A session, we have two Q&A sessions going on. So one in the middle and one at the end of the webinar. So anyone who wants to post their questions, you can just click on the Q&A icon in this Zoom app and just type your question and send it to us. If you are joining from Facebook Live, what you can do is post your questions in the comments section. So before we go into the webinar, for the benefit of our Sinhalese audience, I would like to say a few words in Sinhala. Super Sandhyawak සියලු දෙනාටම First Capital Equities ආයතනය වෙනුවෙන් ඔබ සැමව අපි පිළිගන්නවා. මේ First Capital Equities ආයතනයේ පළවෙනි වෙබිනාර් එක online trading සම්බන්ධව අපි කරන. ඉතින් මීට යතදී ආයෝජකයින්ගෙන් විවිධ අදහස් අපිට ලැබී තිබුණා online trading සම්බන්ධයෙන් මෙවැනි webinar එකක් පුළුවන් නම් organize කරන්න කියලා. ඉතින් ඒ හේතුවෙන් තමයි අපි හිතුවේ Atrad එක use කරන්නේ කොහොමද? Atrad application එක කොහොමද laptop එකේ mobile phone එකේ Atrad app එක use කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා webinar එකක් organize කරන්න. ඉතින් First Capital ආයතනයෙන් අපේ පරිශ්‍රණාංශයෙන් මීට ඉහතදී webinars ගණනාවක්ම අපි කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් පහුගිය මාසේ අපි life insurance sector එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් webinar එකක් organize කරා. life insurance sector එකයි port city එකයි සම්බන්ධයෙන්. ඒ වගේම මේ මාසේ අගදී නැත්නම් සැප්තැම්බර් මුල සතියේදී ඔබට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් තවත් වෙබිනාර් එකක් අපගේ ආර්ථික තත්ත්වය සම්බන්ධයෙන් සහ ඔබගේ ආයෝජන කොහොමද සකසා ගත යුත්තේ කියන එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඉතින් අපේ වෙබිනාර් එකට යන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා දෙයක් දැනුවත් කරන්න ඕන එකක් තමයි මේ සෙෂන් එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා ඔබට එවලා මේ රෙජිස්ටර් වෙලා ඉන්නවා නම් ඔබට එවලා තියෙන Zoom link එක හරහා මේ සෙෂන් එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒත් සමගම අපි Facebook live හරහා මේක ප්‍රදර්ශනය කරනවා. ඉතින් කාට හරි රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන්න බැරි වුණා නම් ඒ Facebook live හරහා සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම ඔබට යම්කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් එයත් යොමු කිරීමට අපි ප්‍රශ්න වටයක් වෙබිනාර් එක මැදදී අගදී ප්‍රශ්න වට දෙකක් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඉතින් අපි එහිදී ඔබට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් Q&A section එක තියෙනවා මේ Zoom app එකේ. ඒ icon එක click කරලා ඔබේ ප්‍රශ්න එතන යොමු කරන්න පුළුවන්. Facebook live හරහා සම්බන්ධ වෙනවා නම් comments section එකේ ඔබේ ප්‍රශ්නේ යොමු කරන්න අපි ප්‍රශ්න වටේදී එම ප්‍රශ්න සියල්ලම සම්බන්ධ කරගන්නවා. So we'll straight away now move into the webinar. Our webinar is today conducted by Chandika Jayawardena, and to give you a brief on Chandika, Chandika is a certified equities securities advisor at First Capital Equities and has a vast amount of experience and with a focus on research and stockbrokering. Chandika holds a Bachelor's of Commerce in Accounting and Finance from Monash University, Malaysia. He is also a past finalist of CIMA. And also he is currently following CFA level 2. Prior to joining First Capital, Chandika has been working in research at Nations Trust Bank PLC. So herewith I would like to hand over proceedings to Chandika. Chandika, over to you.
Good evening all. Welcome to the webinar on how to trade online. So let's get started. So basically in this webinar, we will cover these content. So firstly, why you should invest in the stock market. Then how to invest in the stock market, the process. So one of the steps in investing in the stock market is to open up a CDS account. So we'll explain that process as well. Then comes the main section we are going to cover today, how to trade online using the Atrad platforms, both the web platform as well as the mobile app. Okay, so why you should invest in the stock market? So stock market is one of the areas where you can invest, and one of the best investments due to its liquid feature. And since it's highly liquid, you could convert it into cash at any given time. Unlike certain assets such as like fixed deposits and government securities, where it's not that liquid, stock market comes in handy if you are looking for much of a liquid investment. Stock market is also a good way to diversify your investments. So that is, let's say your wealth, you don't want to put everything in one asset class. So basically you have to diversify your portfolio. So stock market could be one of the ways or one investment you can do. So that would ensure you have a diversified portfolio, which should reduce your risk or exposure to few assets, or maybe let's say one asset class. And also, given the current low interest rate environment, stock market is very attractive due to the higher returns it can provide. So we know usually the current interest rates is going around 5% per annum. And if with good advice and good decisions, you can make much more returns once you invest in the stock market. Another benefit why you should invest in the stock market is, so you will get dividend income as well as capital gains. So what's meant by dividend income? Dividend income is basically once a company generates profits, so the company, how it distributes a profit is through dividends. So they would announce certain dividends to their investors. So what is meant by capital gains is, let's say you buy a share for a certain price, and over time the share price is going to appreciate. So that gain is considered or known as capital gains. So now stock market looks very attractive for all. So how do you invest in the stock market? So step number one. So basically, firstly, you have to select a good stockbroker. So you have to consider several factors when you select a stockbroker. One of the main factors is the customer service provided by the stockbroker, because that is very important, because you don't want a stockbroker who won't provide the necessary service you want and won't answer your calls or whatsoever. Because for a good return, or a good return for you to earn in the stock market, you have to have a good advisor as well as a good stockbroker, where they will assist you throughout the journey. Another important thing is a research. So another important thing is the recommendations provided by the stockbroking firm. Because when you are going to invest, you have to buy shares which has value, and you have to sell it at the correct point. So for this, the stockbroking firm should have a very strong research arm, where they can recommend like which stock to be bought and which to be sold at the right time. Also, another important thing you have to consider is the minimum investment. So basically, sometimes depending on your budget, you can't go to certain stockbroking firms because they have a minimum investment requirement. However, we are glad to say that at First Capital Equities, there is no minimum investment required. So the second step to investing in the stock market is you have to open up a CDS account. So how do you open up a CDS account? So that I will explain in the next slide. So once you open up a CDS account, you need to deposit the funds and start trading. So going forward, how do you open up a CDS account? So earlier we know that you had to fill lots of forms and everything, and it was quite of a hassle. So, but currently, given the digitalization of CSE, we have a very convenient method using the CSE Mobile App, and it comes in very handy given the current pandemic situation also. So you don't have to visit any stockbroking firm, you don't have to sign any documents and lengthy documents whatsoever. So how you use this CSE Mobile App? So you have to download the CSE Mobile App from Play Store or Apple Store. So once you set up the CSE Mobile App, there's an option here for you to open up a CDS account. So what you do is you basically click on our services, and it will show you an option to open up a CDS account. So once you click that, there will be an application form. It would take you around 10 minutes for you to fill in the application form. So basically, it's the same old traditional application form coming now in a digital format. So what you need to do is you just have to fill it, but there are certain things you have to consider and do when you do fill the form. So you have to omit certain errors so that the registering process won't take more time. Usually within maximum around 2 days, if provided that there are no errors from your side, you can open up a CDS account with First Capital. So basically, make sure you follow these points. So when you enter your name and the addresses, make sure you fill it just exactly as NIC. Make sure you don't omit any details and fill it in the same order as shown in the NIC. And once they want you to upload a selfie, make sure you upload the selfie with a plain background. And they will want you to upload the bank details And to support it, they would want you to upload a photograph of proof of bank. So that could be either a bank statement or a bank photo of a bank passbook. However, make sure it displays the account holder's name, the account number, the bank, as well as the branch. So let's say your correspondence address is different from your address in the NIC. They would want you to upload a billing proof to support the correspondence address. So make sure it is addressed to you and it's not older than 3 months. Okay, so going forwards to the main area, how to trade online. So we'll cover the how to trade using the web platform first, and then you could send us in your questions through the Q&A section once we cover the web, and then move on to the mobile app. So once the stockbroker has provided you with the login details, and once you go to the link, this is the login page you will see. So basically, you have to fill in the username here and the password here provided by the stockbroker. So once you log in for the first time, they will want you to reset the account for your safety, right? So basically what you have to do is you have to enter the current password here in this window, and then you enter your new password and confirm the new password. However, make sure your new password consists of at least 8 characters, and make sure it has at least one number, one uppercase letter, which is a capital letter, and one special character. Then they will want you to select a security question. So there are several questions. You just select one and put your answer. So this is for the purpose, in case of emergency, you have forgotten your password, you could use this to log in. So once you submit, this is the page that will be visible. So I'll explain certain key significant things one by one. So here, please note that this screenshot was taken outside market hours. So basically, the market is open from 11 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. So the market was, this screenshot was taken outside market hours. So here it shows the market is closed, right? So when the market is closed, so this is what you can see. So these things are not moving, right? So what is shown here are the trades that happen. Each and every trade that happens is shown here, right? So when the market is open, let's say, so these, it's not like this. It's not just not moving. So it will be so many stocks moving here, and will come and go here. So basically, there are certain two main indexes how you measure the performance of the market. So one is the all share price index, which will be shown here. So basically, this shows the index value. So this is not the current value. Please note this is not the current today's index value. And here it shows green. So when it shows green, it shows that the market has the index has increased, and it shows it has increased by 40 points, and let's say 0.52%. And the other main index is S&P 20. So here it shows the index value as at that date, and here it shows how much the market has increased and the percentage. So basically, these are the companies or the trades that has happened. So these are shown, these are codes for the companies, or else you call it tickers. So here, VFIN. VFIN stands for Valuable Finance. So the ticker is VFIN. So here it shows ACL. So the code ACL stands for ACL cables. So basically what shows here means, so there has been 1,000 shares traded at 40 rupees and 30 cents. And here it's of ACL. And here it shows that 40 shares at 39.40 has been traded of Valuable Finance. So why is this red and why is this green? So basically what happens is, compared to the last market day, if the price is reduced, it will be shown in red. So it shows that in 10 cents. And here it shows the price is increased, and there is a increase of 20 cents. So by default, only Joan keys will be shown in the platform once you log in the home page. So moving on, earlier I showed you how to change the password when you log in for the first time, but let's say you want to change the password again. This is how you do it. So basically on your platform, there is an option for you here called the client. So you click on that and then there's a drop down menu. So here there's an option for you to change the password. So once you click on this window will appear. So basically the same way as I explained earlier, you have to enter the current password here and make sure you enter the new password and confirm the password. So make sure you, same way, it consists at least 8 characters, 1 number and 1 capital letter, as well as 1 special character. So once you do all these things and the new password and the confirmed password matches, you just click on submit and you are good to go. So basically when you are investing, it's important that you keep track of certain stocks you're interested in investing, because that would enable you to do much better in the investment journey and make higher gains. So when you want to invest, one way to keep track of the market is to watch all the stocks in the market. So if you want to watch all the stocks in the market, what you do is you go to full watch equity. So how you go to full watch equity is go to watch and there's an option for you to select full watch equity. So once you go to full watch equity, click on it, all the stocks will be shown here. So also please note this was taken outside market hours, but let's say it was taken during market hours, this wouldn't be constant like this. So these stocks, this would move up and down. So basically the latest trade that happened, it would come on top likewise. Right? So here in the full watch equity, it shows the security here, which is the code, the company name, and bid and ask, which I will be explaining in time to come when you want to place an order. So here it shows the last quantity, that means the last trade, how many shares has been traded, the change in price, and the percentage change. So here it shows a turnover. So basically what is meant by turnover is, so let's say number of shares traded into the market, that trading the market price is considered as a turnover. So for this certain stock, the turnover is shown here. So all these companies have their own turnover figures here. So this total is shown here. So which is a total turnover of the market. So let's say you want to select keep track of the stocks which has gained the most. So to see that, you have to go to the top 10 gainers. So how you do that is basically you go to watch and there is an option for you to select the top 10 gainers. Once you click that, it will take you to this window. This shows the stocks, the top 10 stocks that has increased in price. So at the top will be the stock that has increased most, and it will be shown here. So this stock has increased by 32 rupees and 50 cents, which is 17%. So likewise, the increase will reduce as you go down the line. So nextly, if you want to keep track of the top 10 losers, let's say you want to see the top 10 losers, same way, you go to watch, then you go to top 10 losers. So this will, once you click on that, this will show the list of top 10 losers. Similarly, at the top, this now here it will show the stock which has lost value most, and as it comes down, it will reduce. So once you invest, it's important that you, in the stock market also, you invest in the most liquid stocks. So one of the way you can see which are the most liquid stocks is by the turnover. So it shows that if the turnover is more, that the market interest is there. It might not always be the case, but in general, it is the case. So once you want to keep track of that, what you do is you follow the top 10 turnovers. How do you follow the top 10 turnovers? So what you do is you go to watch and there's an option for you to select top 10 turnovers. You click on that. So this window will appear. So this will show the top 10 turnovers. So if you actually look closely here, you can see This has 1.6 billion turnover. This has 297, 275 million, 129 million. It reduces down the line. So basically now, please note that this is shown here C. That means a crossing. So that is when a security or a certain number of shares, definitely above 20 million, is transferred from one account to another account. So that happens directly. So, but not like this. So here what happens is it has happened on the market. So here it shows the turnover of the market. So now when you're investing, it's important you look at certain stocks and focus on certain stocks according to your objectives. And it is important because you can't follow multiple stocks and focus on many, because that might not come in handy when you're investing, because you have to invest in certain stocks, follow them, and strategize accordingly. So if you want to have your own customized list, this is how we do it. So by default, I told there was this John Keys here. So if you want to add certain stocks which you're interested in, there's an icon here to add security. So once you click that, this will take you to this window. So let's say we want to add HNB. So you type HNB here. So once you type HNB here, certain stocks will be shown here. So it might not necessarily be the bank what we are referring to. So here it shows HNB Assurance, HNB Bank. So HNB, these are rights, and HNB Finance. So let's say you want to select the bank. So now there is two banks stocks of the bank, HNB.N, HNB.X. So what is N and X? So basically N refers to a voting share, X refers to a non-voting share, and R refers to rights. So rights are lodged to you when there's a rights issue. So be very cautious when you select the stocks, because you don't want to end up buying rights or other type of share when you really you want to buy the other thing. Because sometimes certain clients accidentally buy rights instead when they want to buy the share. But unfortunately, once the rights expire, there isn't really much you could do with it, and you will have to absorb the loss. So now let's say we want to select HNB, the voting share. So we select HNB.N and you add. Click on add here. So once you click on add, so this will be added here likewise. So now let's say you want to follow the stocks by sector. So you're interested in a certain sector, let's say the energy sector. How do you follow the stocks under that sector? So basically what you should do is, so you go to on the default, on the home page, there's this icon here called sector. So you click on it and there's a drop down menu here. So you click on the drop down icon and you can select the sector. Now if you're interested in the energy sector, you select on energy. So the energy sector will be shown here. So these are the companies classified under the energy sector. So moving on, you want to select a specific company. Let's say you want to watch a specific company or do a trade by yourself. So this is how we do it. So when the market is happening, everything happens so fast, you don't want to waste time searching for the company on the list here. So let's say you want to immediately search for the company. There's a search bar here. You just type the company. So let's say we want to see John Keys Holdings. You type John Keys Holdings. It will appear. Here also make sure you select the right company you are interested in, because there could be multiple companies with similar names. So let's say here, for example, John Keys Holdings PLC is there, John Keys PLC is there, and John Keys Hotels PLC is there. So be cautious and select the company and read it very carefully and select the company. So here now we want to go ahead with John Keys Holdings, so we select that. So then again, so it will be visible, displayed like this. So now one of the most important things in the stock market is, now you've got the online platform ready, everything is done. Now you have to buy and sell. Now how do you buy and sell? So basically if you want to buy and sell, now you got the company on the watch list, right? You select search store from the methods I told. Now you have your watch list done. So you want to buy, let's say, John Keys. What you do is there is this small gray icon here. So you can click that. If not, you could right click on the company, on the name. You could right click. So then this menu will be visible. So let's say you want to buy, you click here on buy. So this window will appear. So this is the window, the buy window, where you are going to place the order. So this has certain important information, right? So basically, last trade shows the price. The last trade happened. So John Keys on this day, the last trade happened at 136. High here shows the highest price the share has traded. Low here shows the lowest price it has traded. And the turnover, likewise I explained earlier, shown here. Then the trades, so the number of trades here and the volume. Volume here shows the number of shares that has been traded. So moving on this window, there are certain important things you have to consider. Likewise, the buying power. So these things are what matters to you, not about the market. So buying power is the balance. So up the maximum amount you can buy, right? So this could be inclusive of your credit provided by the broking firm. So then the order value here shows the value of the order. So let's say you want to buy 100 shares of John Keys. So that means the price into the number of shares. So let's say you want to buy 100 shares. So it's 100 into 136.5. That's the order value. Commission here shows the transaction cost you will incur when you buy. So which is 1.12% of the order value. So net value here shows the value inclusive of the commission. Now let's say you want to buy, so it will be the transaction cost is a cost for you. So you have to add it to the order value, and the net value will be the order value plus the commission. So basically, once you want to place an order, you have to consider certain things. So the next step is to consider the time in force. So once you place an order, you could place an order ranging from 1 day to up to 5 days. By default, the system has day. So which means it is valid only for one market day or that market day. So let's say you want to place the order and keep it valid for 3 days. You select GTD. So GTD. So then up to 5 days, you can select when you want the order to be valid. And if you want the order to be valid for 5 days straight away, you don't have to select GTD. You just select GTC and it will be valid for 5 days automatically. Okay, so now here, once you select GTC, by default, it will be 5 days from the system, as I explained earlier. So now let's say you want to place the order for 3 days. So you select GTD here, and then you select 3 days. So it will be valid for 3 days now. So now the time in force is done. Now, once you place an order, it's very important you check the order book. So the demand and supply. So how you check that is by going to market depth. So here you can see a small icon here. This is the market depth, also known as the order book. So once you click on that, this window will appear. So this is very important because you don't want to buy a certain stock at a higher price when you have the ability to buy it at a lower price, as well as sell a certain stock at a lower price when you have the ability to sell it at a higher price. Okay. So explaining about this window, what happens here is, so on the left side in green, what is shown are the buyers, right? So that is basically the demand. On the right side, what is shown are the sellers. So basically the supply. So these are the price points. So at each price point, the number of shares on the left side, now we are looking at the buyers that are available to be bought is shown. I mean, people willing to buy. So at 135 rupees 25 cents, there's 200 shares to be bought. There's a person willing to buy at this price. So why I said a person is because there's only one order here, because the split shows 1. So here it shows 3. So that means this total of 1,700 could be 3 orders. However, we don't know the proportion in how it is, but we can say the total is 1,700. Likewise, on the seller's side, we can see that at 136.50 there's 40 shares to be sold. 137 there is 586 shares to be sold. So here it shows the total bids. That means the total number of shares like people want to buy, and here the total number of shares people want to sell. So basically this is the demand and this is supply. So this could be used to see the market movement. Let's say where you want to see the market moves. So it might not always necessarily be the case, but most of the time it shows where the market will move. So moving on, in the window, when you want to buy, it will show by default the lowest seller. So now, as shown here, the lowest seller is 136.50 for John Keys. So it will be shown here. However, let's say you don't want to buy at that price, you want to buy at 136.25. The next step in the buy order, how to place the buy order is, you select the price you want to put. So you select the price and you put the quantity here. So as explained, the order value and these things will be displayed accordingly. Then finally you click here on buy, and then a confirmation window will appear. So they will want you to confirm the order. So you'll have to recheck if everything's okay. You confirm yes. So then you have successfully placed the order. So now you have successfully placed an order. So how do you check if it's placed properly and you want to amend the order or cancel the order? So how to do that is, so basically you go to orders and then you click on order blotter. So once you click on order blotter, this window will be shown. So now here, earlier we placed an order, buy order of 100 shares at 136.25. So this order now it's shown as queued. So why it's shown as queued is because this presentation was made outside market hours. So this was made this presentation was not made between 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. So let's say you place an order during the market hours, this will be shown as new. So if you want to amend the order, you click here, this icon, and this will take you to the same buy window earlier, and you can amend the order. Let's say you can change the price or quantity as needed. So let's say you want to cancel the order, you click on this icon. So once you click on this icon, as shown here, the order status will be displayed as cancel. So all the orders you have placed, you could keep track of using the order blotter as explained. Okay. So now there are certain order types you have to consider. So there are multiple order types. So I will explain the main order types. So if you place the order during the market hours, it will be shown as new. So that means the order is now placed. So now let's say the order, now you place an order for John Keys for 100 shares. Now let's say you got the shares. So what happens is it's successful. So then the term they use here is filled. So it will be shown as filled here. So once the order is cancelled, it will be shown as cancelled. And likewise. So here it shows there is this order status called P-filled. That means partially filled. Let's say your order you only got 50 shares. So that it will be shown as 50, and the remaining quantity will be shown as the remaining 50. So if an order is rejected, it will be shown as rejected, and likewise. So however, the main order status you need to consider is new, filled. P changed means you have changed the order. Let's say P filled and rejected. Queued is when you place the order outside market hours. So moving on, now once you buy and sell shares, your account balance, everything changes. So you have to keep track of your account balance and everything, let's say. So how do you keep track of your account balance? So that is using the account statement, which is not necessarily like a bank account, but follows those kind of mechanism. Yeah. So how to check the account statement is, you go to client here, select on account statement, and this window will be visible. So basically, your opening balance means your cash balance will be shown here. Why I said cash balance is because it's in green. So it shows it's your money, your cash balance is shown. So once you, now, for example, here, this client has purchased the products. So order value of, net of sales, commission and everything. So 26,540. So that has been deducted and the remaining balance is this. So likewise, when you when you sell, this will be added and the remaining balance is like this, and it goes on like this. So what is the settlement date? Settlement date is 3 days from the date of transaction. That is either when the broking firm has to settle it to you if you sell the shares, or when you have to settle the funds to the broking firm if you have bought on credit. So let's say you have bought on credit, your balance here will not be shown in green, it will be shown in red. So this client has bought from his cash balance and he has a cash balance. So it is shown, the balance is shown in green. So moving on, you want to check your account summary. So it shows your buying power and the cash balance. How do you check that? So how you check is you go to client and you go to account summary. So this window will be displayed. So the certain things displayed here, I'll explain one by one. Here it shows the cost of the portfolio. So that means the cost you have incurred, the portfolio of the current portfolio you have. So the market value of the portfolio means at current market prices multiplied by the number of shares you own of all the stocks you own is shown here. So total gain and loss means the profit or loss you have made. So which is the difference between the market value and the cost. So right now this client has a profit. That is why it displayed in green. This is because the market value is higher than the cost. So he has made a profit. So the cash balance here is shown is the money or the amount you, whether you have bought on credit or whether you have bought from your fund. So now it's in green here, shows that you have a cash balance. So that means you can utilize your funds up to 5,930. So beyond that, it shows that you will be buying on credit provided by the broking firm. So here it shows the credit provided by the broking firm. So currently on this date, the credit provided by the broking firm is 20% of the portfolio value. Right. So inclusive of that credit provided is the buying power. So buying power is up to how much you can buy inclusive of the credit provided by the broking firm. So this is how you check the main things such as the cash balance and buying power. Now, once you buy certain stocks, now you want to see how much profits you have made, or how much it is at a loss, or to keep track of it post buying a certain stock. So that for you to check, you have to go to portfolio. So how to go to portfolio is you click on client and you go to portfolio here. So once you go to portfolio, it will show all the stocks you own. So here it will show, now here it shows DIPD, that means you own DIP products. Here it shows the quantity, you have owned 500 shares. So here it shows the percentage of shares from the total number of shares. So they take this total number of shares and 500 out of this total is this. So the average price here is very important. It shows your cost per share, inclusive of the transaction costs. So here BES price means a break-even selling price. So if you want to make a profit, it means that you have to sell definitely above this price. So even a cent below this price, you will incur a loss. So here it shows the total cost. That means average price into the quantity. And here it shows a traded price, which is the last traded price. So make sure you refresh the portfolio frequently, because sometimes this won't be refreshed real time. And here it shows a market value, so which is the last traded price into the quantity. And here it shows by the amount, how much you own. So let's say now you own, your total portfolio market value is 150,000. You have dip products for 26,000. So that is 17% of your portfolio you own dip products. So sales commission is, now let's say you sell it at this price. So the last traded price, let's say you sell the products as 52.70. What happens is your market value is this. So order value will be this. So your sales commission 1.12% of this will be this. So sales proceeds means the net amount what you will receive after selling the stock. So 26,350 minus 295, you will get 26,054. So here is one of the most important things, your profit and loss. So here it shows whether you have made a profit or loss. So now the cost here, your cost is 52 rupees and 29 cents. However, once you sell it to 52.70, right, you should consider the transaction cost you will incur when selling also. So that could be shown, seen here. So your total cost is 26,149. But when you sell, you only get 26,050. So actually that means you're selling lower than your total cost. So you're making a loss of 94 rupees, and it's in, that's why it's in red. And here it's in green, shows that you have a profit. So for example, now here, your total cost for Singer is 17,500. So once you sell it at the current price of 1830, you will get net off. So after deducting the sales commission, you will get 18,095, which gives you with a profit of 590. So when you add all this up, total profit or loss of your portfolio can be seen here. So this is the profit and loss you have. And also this shows, this is not necessarily your profit and loss. This shows this is not necessarily your profit and loss. Sorry, this column. This shows the profit, the improvement, the increase compared to yesterday. So it shows no unrealized today gain. So it shows compared to yesterday how much your 500 shares has increased. Or in this case, Sampath Bank, compared to yesterday, how much it has reduced. So your profit or loss as a percentage of your investment. So what is the investment is your total cost is shown here. So for Singer, your total investment of 17,500, you have profit of 595 here. So that is a return of 3.4%. Okay. So moving on, how to sell. So once you want to sell, now let's say you want to sell. So what you could do is, same way, you click on this icon here, or right click on the name, and there is an option for you to sell. So you click on sell. If not, if you want to sell from the portfolio itself, you could go here, right click here, and they will show you option to sell. So once you sell, the sell window will appear. Likewise, it's similar to the buy window. It will show all the same details. And similarly, you have to enter the price and quantity. Make sure you check the market depth and select the price you want to sell it. So once you select the price you want to sell it at, then let's say you want to sell now, let's say you want to sell John keys. So currently, by default, it will show the highest bid, so which is 135.25. But let's say you want to sell higher. Let's say you want to select 140. It's fine. You can go ahead and place your order. So here you can see that there is at 140, there is 17,000 shares. So once you place your order, once the price increase, your shares will be sold. So you select 140 here, put the quantity here, and click on sell. Again, they will ask the confirmation window. So here you check the details again, you confirm, and it's done. So now when you want to invest, you have to check the past historic data of certain stocks. and you have to see how the prices, how it has been in the past, how it has moved in the past, and that is very important when you decide whether to buy or sell a certain stock. So when you want to see the past data, it is important you check the charts. So how you could check the charts from the online platform is, you go to analysis here, then there's an option for you to select advanced charts. So once you select the advanced charts, this window will appear. So it will be opened in a new window. So here you can type the company you are looking at. So same way, you have to be very cautious. John Keys, there are several companies, as well as there is, you have to, John Keys, it only has the voting share. You have to select jkh.n. So once you select that, the chart will be shown here. Right? So if you want to use any technical indicators, you can select on this icon, and there is multiple technical indicators you can choose from and do your analysis. Yeah. So going ahead, next is the mobile app. So please feel free to ask him.
Yeah, thank you, Chandika. So we have a number of questions. So before we move into the mobile app, I think it's better if we can take up some of these questions. So I'll post the questions to you, Chandika. Yeah. So the first question is, what do you mean by ASI and S&P increase? So I think the investor is asking what the two indicators are and how it moves up and down. So yeah, if you can answer that, Chandika.
Yeah. So how the market is monitored, or a key indicator to measure the market performance is the index. So like I mentioned, the main two indexes are all share price index and the S&P index. So the index increasing means, in general, you could consider the market as moved, because certain stock, the calculation that happens for the index is when prices increases, the index tends to increase. So that means the price index increasing shows that the market is moving upwards. And likewise, when the indexes are decreasing, shows the market is moving downwards. So it might not be the case all the time, because it depends on certain stocks might have a high market cap and the calculation might change. But in general, when the index moves up, it shows that the market is moving up, and it's quite positive news.
And also the S&P, I think, consists of the most liquid shares, right, Chandika?
Yes.
Yeah. So the most liquid 20 shares is shown by the S&P SL20 index, and it is reviewed periodically every 6 months. Yeah. So the next question is mobile login. Why the password? Why do you have to reset the password every time? I think, Chandika, there is a periodical change in
it
password.
Is a periodical change.
No? Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, it is a periodical change. Also, that is definitely to safeguard you, that that the system wants you to reset. It wants a reset. And also, the system can only bear up to 3 incorrect passwords. So once you incorrectly enter the password 3 times, the system automatically gets locked. So it might be quite annoying, but it is for your benefit that no one could access your account. So if that happens, you have to contact your IT personnel from your broking firm and get them to reset the password.
Thanks, Chandika. So the next question is, is the buying info as at today or all time? I think it's talking about the buying window, isn't it?
Yeah. No, actually, this, as I mentioned, this presentation was made beforehand. So this shows the figures and values beforehand, and depending on your account, the buying power and everything will depend on your investment and your portfolio value, and it's very subjective.
So I don't know whether you want to take up this question, Chandika. One investor is asking whether you could explain how to put stop losses when the market is coming down. I think it's available
Yes.
in the sell window, right? Yeah.
It is. It is. So basically, when you go back, there is an option for you to select here. So order type limit. So once you select that, there is an option for you to put the order. And the stop price here, you can enter it and do likewise. But most of the time, it's ideal if you use the limit order.
Okay. Thanks. So there's a question. What type of shares will get dividends? Yeah.
Yeah. So that is basically depending on the market situation, and there's certain stocks which has a good track record of giving dividends with the high dividend payout ratio. So depending on your objective, let's say you're looking for dividends, so and your investment amount, the value, your risk appetite, once you contact your advisor, accordingly they would recommend any certain stocks that would give you the dividend. But in general, there are certain stocks that would that has a high dividend payout ratio.
So just for the investors' benefit, I think most companies, if they are making profits, is capable of providing dividends, but it will depend on the board of directors whether they will choose to give dividends or whether they will use the profits to further expand the company. But as Chandika mentioned now, there are selected companies which has a track record of giving a large payout out of the profits that they make. So there's a question, if we use only the mobile app, what are the disadvantages that are there?
Yeah. So if you use only the mobile app, certain features such as the advanced charts, you can't see the advanced charts. The account statement is not available. If not those two, I think it is very convenient with your day-to-day life. I think from your mobile, I think it's really convenient for you to trade.
Yeah. Also, another thing is I think the ticker is not available. Most people use the ticker also to trade. Yeah. Yeah. So I think an important question is there regarding withdrawing money. How do we withdraw the money? Is the question.
Yeah. So once you open up an account, the broking firm will ask you whether you want to hold the sales proceeds or not. So there are two options. But most of the time, majority of the people opt to the hold the sales proceeds because you want to rotate the funds. So I assume you're in such instance, you're asking me this question. So if that is the case, what you should do is you have to contact your advisor, maybe drop him an email and with your registered email address and request for the money to be transferred to your bank account. And let's say if the settlement date is already passed, it will be settled on the next day. If not, it will be settled on the settlement date.
So there's another question. What does the BES price, best estimated selling price, I think, include, whether it includes the sell side fees as well?
Yes. So it means a break even. So basically you have to sell it above that for you to make a profit. So that is inclusive of the sales commission incurred when you sell.
What's the minimum and maximum amount we can trade?
So it depends on the amount which the broking firm has assigned to you. But in general, you could see it from your account summary.
Okay. How to submit bank proof where you don't have a book for the account?
Yeah, so if you don't have a bank passbook, you could submit a bank statement. So it necessarily does not have to be a hard copy statement. Let's say you get a e-statement, a screenshot of that would even do. But make sure that displays your name, the account number, the bank, and the branch, because that proof document has to support the bank details you have entered.
Okay. Chandrika, there's one more question. What are the requirements to open a CSE account with First Capital with Atrad? Whether we have any minimum requirements? I think that's what the question.
So basically you have to be 18 plus of age. And if you have valid documentation and everything, you just have to download the mobile app and proceed. And we don't have any minimum investment value. So we provide the online trading facility without any minimum investment value.
Okay. Okay. There's a question about order types. Can you explain about order type in buying or selling window? I think you had the buying or selling window earlier. What comes in the order type is what?
Order type, yes. So here it shows the limit order, which is frequently used, where you put the price and the order will be executed only at that price. But let's say the market is moving very fast and you don't have time to enter the price and you want to buy the market price, there's an option for you to buy at market. And earlier one investor asked about stop loss, and that also stop limit orders come under the order type. There are multiple options here. That is a different area we could discuss separately.
Okay. Yeah. What do you mean by turnover in a market?
So turnover in the market meaning, now let's start with a certain stock. Let's say as you have your order value. So your order value is the number of shares into the price. So that is a trade that happens. So each trade has a value. So that total for that stock is a turnover for that certain stock. So however, that is just for one company. So there are multiple companies. The total of those turnovers of those companies shows the market turnover. In general, when the turnover is high, it shows high market activity and interest. So it is one of the good signs a market to have.
Okay. Thank you, Chandrika. If I deposit and share the slip, will the money move to CDS on the same day?
No. So basically, once you deposit and send the slip to your advisor, and make sure you enter your account number once you do the transfer, so that from our side we can see that you have made the deposit. So once that is done, your account will be updated within a few minutes. So but make sure you have the CDS account number mentioned in your transfer, because if not, it might get a bit delayed, but usually it will be updated very soon.
Okay. So there are a couple of questions about bank accounts. Can we open a CDS account with a recently opened bank account? And another question is, will a teens bank account work? I don't think
Yeah,
the
so
type of bank account matters, right, Chandika? Yeah.
definitely yes. And also when the bank account was opened doesn't matter, as long as you have a valid bank account. And definitely a normal bank account would be much preferred.
Okay. Right. So the question is, sometimes when I'm going to sell shares, the trade price is different than the market value price in this platform. What is the reason trade price is higher than market value price? I think
Yeah.
when the market is moving down, we could see that, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
No. So as earlier I explained, now when you go to the portfolio, I think when you look from the portfolio, I think I mentioned that you have to refresh this here. You have to refresh, click on the refresh button, because this portfolio window is not real time. So when you open the window, the traded price is shown here. But that does not necessarily mean that is the current market price. So that is why this price and the market price could differ. It highly advise you to refresh it frequently if you are following your investments through the portfolio.
Okay. Could you explain rights, voting, and non-voting shares? When or why we should buy them or not?
Yeah. So that
Rights.
actually depends. Yeah. So that actually depends on your objective. Let's say, so certain companies, people have more interested in one type of stock, and rights is a separate thing. When there's a rights issue, you will be provided with rights where you can buy the shares at a discounted price. So you can either opt to subscribe for the rights, or you can sell the rights in the market. Considering voting and non-voting shares, voting shares gives you the ability to vote in certain key decisions. So, and basically now if you are going to invest in huge quantities and like a significant stake of a company, definitely if you require control, it might matter the voting share. But let's say you are looking for a dividend return or something, then you could either opt for the non-voting share, because most of the time in general the voting share and the non-voting share is given the same dividend. So if you buy the non-voting share, which is usually trading lower, that will give you a higher dividend yield than the voting share. So it definitely depends on your objective and which sector and which stock you are looking at. So you can't in general classify this voting share is good or non-voting is.
Okay. Chandika, there's a question about subdivision of shares and scrip dividend. Could you explain the difference between the two?
Yeah, subdivision is when certain stock, subdivision is also known as a split. So when it's broken down into multiple stocks, so that is mainly done in a way where the the company thinks this price is as one is too high and you want to make it more affordable for the market, then you go for a subdivision. But let's say you want what scrip dividend is when the company awards you more shares. So when the company awards you more shares as a when they are distributing profits. So let's say a company wants to distribute profits and they don't want to incur cash outflow, they could opt to go for a scrip dividend.
So there are two questions about how to get the cash out. He wants to get the cash from the CDX account. What's the procedure? Profits and transfer to the bank account. So same question. How do you withdraw the money is the question.
Yeah.
I think we answered it earlier also. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this is a very frequent question I've been asked. So you can't really track your profits only in the Atrad system. Unfortunately, it won't track this is your capital, this is your profit. But if you really want to calculate that, you could go to account statement and see, when you bought this is your cost, and when you sold it, this is your proceeds, and do the calculation. However, if you want to take a certain amount of money, whether it be the capital or the profit, you just have to contact your advisor, send him an email, and he would do the needful.
Yeah. Do you have WhatsApp channels providing signals to buy or sell shares?
Yeah. So First Capital actually has a research broadcast. So First Capital, we publish certain reports, and those reports will be sent through the broadcast. So you can register on the broadcast also. So Mr. Dimantha might explain on that process. So on that broadcast,
all you have to do is you can just send an email to research@firstcapital.lk, and we will add you in. We will send you the instructions as to what you need to follow to get added to the broadcast. So it's a very simple procedure. Right. There's another question on credit extensions. How do you explain that, Chandika, about credit extension?
So basically, the broking firm does provide you with credit. So that percentage of credit provided on your portfolio value depends on the broking firm. Currently, First Capital is providing 20% of your portfolio value. So the advantage of using credit is you could utilize funds from third-party funds for your investments. So that would come in very handy if you when you want to invest more and you are limited with funds. And if you want to register for the credit extension, you have to contact your stock broking firm or your advisor and sign the credit extension agreement, and credit will be provided.
Right. So I will take up one final question before we go into the second session. There are a large amount of questions. We will answer the balance questions at the end of the second session in the Q&A period. So the final question is, how can you check the dividend yield on Atrad, or can you check the dividend yield on Atrad?
No, unfortunately, you can't check the dividend yield on Atrad. But if you necessarily want to check the dividend yield, you could go to the CSE website. But however, you will have to calculate it manually. But if necessary, you can contact your advisor for more support. He most probably should have most of the records, and with the research, he definitely will be able to provide you with details with the dividend yields.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Chandika. We'll quickly move into the second session. I think it's a shorter session, and we can take up the balance questions. There's a lot of questions, so keep your questions coming in. We will answer them at the end of the session.
Yes. So moving on, it's now like we went through the web based platform. You can't always use it now when you're out or when you're busy with work or something. It's important you use a mobile app as well, because the market is fluctuating and instantly you might want to buy yourself. So to use a mobile app, basically, firstly, you have to download the Atrad mobile app. So how you should do is you have to go to Play Store or the App Store to download it. So once you install it and open the app, this is the view you will see. So here you have to select the stockbroking firm. So these are most of the brokers which are using the Atrad platform. So once you select First Capital, which is our company, you select. So once you go there, they will want you to enter the username and password provided by the broking firm. So once you enter them and log in, like the web-based platform, the default watch list will be shown, and this is the way we will see. So now let's say you want to change the password from the mobile itself. You don't want to use a computer. So how you do that is, so at the bottom, there is this option for more. You go to more, go to settings, then you click on change password. Then you enter the current password, enter the new password. Likewise, make sure it at least consists of 8 characters, one number, one capital letter, and one special character. Then you just have to click on save and you're good to go. Let's say you want to add companies on the default watch list like earlier. How you do that is, on the default page, when you logged in, this will be shown. So here there is a search bar where you can type the company. Now let's say like earlier you want to select HNB, you type HNB, make sure you select the required stock, which is right now HNB Bank. So you carefully look at HNB and you want to select the voting share. So we carefully select HNBN, and then once you click on it, there will be a message displaying showing that this security was successfully added. So once now when you want to buy and sell, now once it's added, like it will be displayed here. So now let's say you want to buy, you click on the company. Even if you want to sell, you click on the company. So there will be 2 icons for you to buy and sell. So you want to buy, you select here, sell here. And here, what is shown is a market depth or order book, as explained earlier. So basically the bids on this side and the asks on this side, which means the buyers or as a demand and the sellers here, the supply. So now let's say you want to buy, same way, first step is you have to select the time in force. Same way you can, as explained earlier, you could select day, GTD or GTC. So once you select day, this will be shown. You could select as necessary. Second step is you have to make sure you enter the prices. So definitely look at the market depth and see how the prices are moving. And once you select on a certain price, you enter the price and the quantity, and you click on buy. And there will be a confirmation asking here also. Click on yes, then you're good to go. So even with the sell order, same way. Once you go to sell, this same window will come. So here also you enter the price you want to sell it at, the quantity, select sell, then the confirmation will appear, then you click on yes. So now likewise, now you have placed the orders, you want to keep track of the order list. How do you keep track of the order list? So basically on the app at the bottom, this menu is there always. It does not move or it won't get hidden. So you go to order list here. So once you go to order list here, this will be visible. So the order we placed to buy HNB is shown here. And also please note that we have taken this screenshot outside market hours. So the order is queued. So if you place it during market hours, it will be shown as new. And the same order statuses are valid for the mobile app as well. So filled. So once you get the share, it will be considered as filled. Cancelled. Everything as explained earlier is valid in the mobile app as well. Let's say you want to amend the order you have put. So how we do is, this is the order we put earlier. You click on this arrow, then this menu will appear. So on this menu, there is an option for you to amend the order. So once you click on the amend order button, this will take you to the same window where you place the order. So here you can change either the price, the quantity, and click on buy and resubmit the order. And if you want, let's say now you want to cancel the order, same way, you click on the arrow, then you click on the cancel order. There will be a confirmation. You click on yes, and the order will be cancelled. So now once the order is cancelled, the same order once we cancel it, it's displayed here as cancelled. So unlike the web platform, in the mobile platform, it is shown in colors. So basically, buy orders are shown in green and sell orders are shown in red here. So now, like the order status is explained earlier, here it is shown as filled. That means you have successfully got the shares. And here it's shown as filled, and it's in red. That means it's sold. So that means you have successfully sold the orders, the shares. So moving on, you want to check the trade summary and the charts. So unfortunately, you cannot see advanced charts like investor asked us earlier in the mobile platform. You can only see a chart maximum up to 5 days. So you want to see the charts. Once you click on the company, the window which came up. So on that, you can click on chart and this chart will be visible. Let's say you want to see the trade summary, how much volume has been traded at each price point. You click on trade summary here and you can see it shows that for dip products on this day at 52.40, 11,000 shares have been traded through 23 trades. And at 52.50, 915,000 shares have been traded through 211 trades. Moving on, now from the mobile platform to check the portfolio, at the bottom, you have to go to portfolio. So once you click on portfolio, this window will be displayed. So here you can see the overall total gain or loss and the today loss as explained earlier. So now to see stock price, you have to click on the this icon here, the colored icon here. This will take you to this screen. So there is two options, summary view and valuation. So basically under summary view, it will show all the stocks and the number of shares you have. And it will show the price changes and everything. But what is most important is the valuation, because the amount you invested as well as how much of a profit you can get, and the cost is shown here. So for example, the products, it shows your market value of 26,000 here. The cost is here. This is the cost you incurred in buying it, inclusive of the transaction cost. And the average cost is shown here, 52 rupees and 30 cents. And why I said this was important is this shows the profit of your stocks, which is important when you are going to decide whether you are going to sell a certain stock. So here it's in red, meaning that it's at a loss of 94 rupees, and this shows at a loss of 0.36%. Likewise, here it shows that your market value is 18,300, your cost is 70,500. After applying the necessary transaction cost, you will have a profit of 595 rupees. So this 595 as a percentage of your investment is shown here as 3.4%. Moving on, now you want to see the account summary, where you can see the account buying power and cash balance. Basically, you have to go to more here, then you go to account summary. So once you go to account summary, the same details like in the web-based platform will be displayed. So same way your cost is shown, the market value of the portfolio is shown, the gain loss, which is the difference is shown. Shown in green means that you have a profit, and your cash balance is shown, which is your funds you can utilize, as well as the buying power, which is inclusive of the credit provided by the broking firm. So this is one client who has a cash balance. So on this client, there is a negative cash balance. It shows that the customer or the client has utilized the credit provided by the broking firm. That is why it is in red. So this is 6,359 of the broking money from the broking firm is utilized to buy the shares which is in this portfolio. However, he can still buy up to another 18,000 rupees utilizing the credit provided by the broking firm. So finally, if you want to log out, basically you go to more, just click on log out, then they'll ask you the confirmation, click on yes, and then we are good to go. Thank you, and up to you, Ms. Limanda, for any further questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Chandika. I think we can go for the balance set of questions. We have a large amount of questions. I'm not sure whether we can take up all those questions, but we will cover as much as possible. So starting off, is day trading recommended, or as a fresh investor, is it recommended to build a portfolio of good stocks before getting to that?
So definitely that depends on your objective and your risk appetite. So if you are willing to, that depends on your view. If you're willing to build a portfolio, definitely it is advised to invest in long-term stocks and do the normal way. However, you could also opt to day trading. However, it could be highly risky when you do day trading, depending on the situation, and it's very subjective. So definitely you could try day trading, but make sure you have that risk appetite to bear any losses if necessary. And however, it is advisable just to, if you are a beginner, just to learn the market, maybe let's say in 1-2 weeks, and go to day trading and thereon.
Okay. So I have a CDS account, but it is now in dormant state due to non-use for a considerable period. How can I get it active?
Yeah. So basically, due to the current.
Another question, Chandika, is it enough to submit the form CDS 28 e-service form, and do you require to make a transaction? Yeah, those are the questions.
So it depends on the status of your account. Usually very old accounts which does not have any contact details as required by the CDS, you will have to contact the broking firm and fill the necessary documents as per their requirements and submit them. So once you submit them, you can reactivate your account. And CDS 28A is for the dividends and everything. So that will be updated accordingly with those things, and that will be taken care of by the broking firm.
Okay. Then regarding doing transactions through a brokering firm, why a brokering firm is involved? Why can't clients directly deal with CSE? And another question, I'll take it up together. Can we buy stocks via a debit card?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you can buy stocks using the debit card because you'll have to transfer the funds to the broking firm, and thereon it will be allocated to your account, then you purchase. And why broking firms are involved is because if all the investors are going to invest in the market directly, it might be very it might get complicated when the transactions and everything's happening. So when there is a broking firm, it's like you're grouping certain set of investors, and it would make it easier for the whole mechanism and the system to work, and will be more credible for the whole system.
Okay. A question regarding dividends. If we buy stocks before the XD date, can we get dividends?
Yeah. So basically on the before the XD date. So XD date, let's say a stock has XD date. Before the XD date, the market closing period, if you are a shareholder, definitely for that number of shares you own, you will receive the dividends. So if you buy before the XD date and you own it before the XD date, when the market closes, you will be eligible for the dividend. But make sure you have the shares before the market, before the XD date when the market is closing, because no point you buying the shares before the XD date and you sold it also before the XD date, you won't be eligible for the dividends.
Okay. Just a small announcement. You can visit our Facebook page and leave a message if you have more questions. We will get back to you. In addition to that, the recording of this session will be uploaded to our YouTube page. First Capital Holdings PSC has a YouTube page, and it will be uploaded into that. Also, we have a question via Facebook. How the profit earned by buying and selling stocks is transferred to the bank account. I think we already answered that question. Let's move into another question, because we have a lot of questions. If we consider the exit date, what would be the best date to invest in a particular stock?
Yeah, so that definitely depends on the stock and the situation. So in general, we cannot give you a straightforward answer, because how certain stocks react to dividends and on the exit date is depending on that situation. So it's advisable you contact your advisor on that specific stock and ask specifically the need, because in general you can't really give an answer that how it works. But in general, most of the time on the exit date, the share price will adjust in general, but might not be the case all the time when the market is moving upwards.
Okay. When you set an order to buy or sell, how long does it take for the transaction to go through? If the transaction doesn't go through, when does the order get cancelled?
Yeah, so once you place the order, it will be the order status will be as new. So the order, it takes a very like just a second or a split second for the order to be placed. But it depends on the price and the market conditions whether you will be whether the order will be filled. If you're, let's say you want to buy and you have placed a very low price and the market price does not reach that price, the order won't be successfully executed. However, let's say your order, you put, like explained earlier, you can put a GTC order or a day order. Let's say you put a day order, the order will be expired when the market closes. However, if you put GTD or GTC, likewise, the order will be valid to the certain number of days you put when you selected GTD, or GTC when you put GTC for 5 days.
Okay. Are there any bank charges?
Yeah, no. So there isn't any bank charges actually from First Capital or the broking firm side, but definitely when you opt to transfer or do any certain things. Depending on your bank, they might have their own fees and charges, depending. But in investing in the market, there isn't any specific bank charges.
Okay. Do Sri Lankan brokerage firms provide leverage? If so, what percentage of leverage is provided?
Yes, so broking firms provide leverage. So basically, that is what was meant by the credit extension, but depends from broking firm to firm on how much they provide. So currently, First Capital is providing 20%.
Okay. How do you deposit money into the CDS account, and can you trade with two different brokers at the same time?
Yeah. So how you deposit money is basically you have to deposit the money to the broking firm's bank account, and then you contact your advisor and submit the proof of payment via email. Or let's say if you're doing online transfer, you could put your account number as reference. So once that is done, that for those funds will be allocated to your account by the broking firm, and that will be displayed as you're buying as a cash balance and updated on your Atrad platform. And considering the second question, yes, you can trade with multiple broking firms, and there is no limitation to that.
Okay. So there are two questions. I'll combine it together about research. Whether you provide advisors about buying or selling of stocks, and does First Capital share research report with investors?
Yeah. So basically, depending on your requirement, you can contact your advisor, and accordingly, he or she will recommend certain stocks to be bought or sold likewise. And as mentioned earlier, we have our First Capital Research broadcast where we will update research material published by the research arm. And there will be recommendations there also done by the First Capital Research department after significant analysis being done.
In addition to that, Chandika, I'd like to mention that all our research that is being done is uploaded in our website. So you can visit our website anytime and look at our research, download our research. So it is updated at the same time that we send the research to the clients, and also simultaneously send a WhatsApp message as well. So we are dispersing all reports at the same time through all channels. Yeah. So moving on to another question. What is the most suitable share that we should buy from voting, non-voting, and rights shares, and what is the difference? Difference, I think we answered earlier. You can probably briefly touch on that, Chandika, and answer.
So basically, rights. One thing is rights is not a share. Rights is not a share, and definitely voting share and non-voting shares, it depends, as mentioned earlier, depending on your requirement. It depends on your requirement how you want to invest. As mentioned earlier, let's say you're looking into more of a higher dividend yield or dividend looking stock, you could go for the non-voting share because it's quite cheaper. And however, certain sectors and certain stocks may have their own higher demand for certain stocks, certain voting or non-voting shares. So depending on the stock, it depends.
Yes. So we'll take up a few more questions for the next 5 minutes, and then we'll look at winding up the session. There's a question on GTC and GTD orders. I need to know about GTD and GTC. For example, let's say I need to buy a share less than market price. If the market price is 10 and I need to buy a share for 9, then am I to select GTD and select 5 days and wait until it reach 9? How should I do it?
Yeah, so basically that depends on the stock. So let's say if it's a very volatile stock and it fluctuates highly, then you might not even want to put it for 5 days. You might even get within the day. But let's say it's not a really volatile stock and it's very stagnant at that price point, and you're hoping for a sudden price drop, or maybe let's say a seller just suddenly puts something and you want to collect it. Let's say in such an instance, you don't want to place orders every day, because priority also is given based on first come first serve basis for that price point. So if you want to be in front of the queue, let's say it's for a stock which isn't moving much, definitely then you should rather go for GTC and place the order and keep. If you are expecting suddenly a seller to put a large amount of shares to bring the price down, then you might be able to collect it if you're lucky.
Similarly, there's an order about TIF. Briefly explain about TIF. It's complicated for me.
Yeah. So basically, it's the same thing as GTD and GTC, what we explained. So under TIF, time in force. So that means how long you want the order to be valid. So if you, by default, it will be valid for that day. So you don't have to change it. But let's say, like the investor asked the question earlier, let's say you want to buy a stock at a lower price, which does not move. So then you have to change the time in force for, let's say, GTD or GTC and place the order, so that the order will be valid for more than 1 day or 5 days if you put GTC. But you have to also be very concerned when you put these orders, because let's say suddenly like considering the example mentioned earlier, let's say suddenly the price falls to like 8 rupees, you might get the share at 9 rupees because you have already placed the order. So in such an instance, you might incur losses because you have placed orders in advance. So definitely depends on the situation and the stock you are looking at to use it accordingly.
So what Chandika is explaining is that if you don't want to buy at market price and wait for the stock, that's when you would use those items, GTD and GTC. So there's another question about the credit that First Capital provides. Is there any charges or interest rate?
Yeah, so there is, as I mentioned, there is a settlement date, so which is 3 working days after the transaction date. So after that date, if you are unable to settle, you will be charged with an interest. Currently, First Capital, it's 15%. So you will be charged with a daily interest rate. So depending on the number of days, on a pro rata basis, interest will be charged. However, if it's within the 3 days, you will not be charged with any interest, and that is the advantage of utilizing funds provided by the broking firm when you want to invest in large amounts.
Right. So there is a question asking about unit trust. I'll just briefly explain. So we have a number of unit trusts, but the money market fund is the most popular unit trust. It's an alternative to a savings account. So you can withdraw money any point of time, and the interest rate is usually similar to a fixed deposit or slightly higher. So it depends on the investments that the fund management company does. But at the moment, around the 7% mark is the interest rate. for the money market fund. So it's very simple. You can open the account online itself. So you can, if you are interested, you can contact our asset management division to open a unit trust account. Also, sometimes it might be easier to have a unit trust also. So if you have excess funds in your stock account, what most people do is, or what we advise is to transfer the money into the money market until you buy shares, and once you buy shares, transfer the money back. So within that period also you will get some sort of interest for that money that you have. So going back, regarding passwords, can we save the password on mobile app in order to avoid login every time?
Yeah. So unfortunately, on the mobile app, you cannot save the password, but there is also a mobile version of the web-based platform. So let's say you want to same link you're using for the web-based platform. If you go to through it with your browser, the same it is definitely looking like the mobile app, but in that depending on your browser, it might let you or might not let you save the password.
What's high and low? I think it's talking about the prices. I think high and low prices, I guess.
Yeah. So but as explained earlier, high means during that market day, the highest price that share was traded, and the low means the lowest price that that share was traded.
Okay. So what is the tax on earnings currently? Are there any other expenses apart from tax and brokerage fee?
Yeah, so that's one advantage of the investing in the market, because there isn't any capital gains tax or whatsoever. There's only the transaction cost, so which is inclusive of the brokerage fee. So in total, it is 1.12% of the transaction value.
Okay. In announcements, what is the meaning of trading halt lifted?
Yeah. So let's say there is an announcement to be made by the company, which is very significant, or let's say price sensitive, let's say, and you don't want to publish the announcement when the market is happening, when that trade is being when that stock is being traded. So in such an announcement where it's very significantly material for the price and price sensitive, the stock or the security will be halted for trading, and then let's say it will be the announcement will be put, and then the trading halt will be lifted. So that is when you can again start trading. So when the security is halted, you cannot trade it during that period of time. So there it could be either for an announcement or maybe for some other reason, multiple reasons, security could be halted for trading.
Yeah. So there is a number of questions on dividends. I will combine it together. How does dividends are received to shareholders, check or by deposit to bank, and how do we wait until dividends to receive dividends? I think what they are asking is at what point of time they can get dividends. Like if the dividends is distributed tomorrow, what if I buy the share today? Can I get dividends? So that sort of question is what they are asking.
Yeah. So basically now there is certain dates you have to consider when there is a dividend. So there is the dividend announcement date, the XT date, and the payment. So announcement date is when the dividend is announced, and the ex date is, as explained earlier, you have to own the share before the ex date to be eligible. And with the announcement, there will be a payment date mentioned. So it's very unlikely that the payment date is the day after the ex date. So, but when there is a payment date, that is the day the company would distribute the dividend. However, most of the time these days, the companies distribute the profits before the payment date. And when it comes to whether they will send it through check or bank, depends on the account. Like if you are a new account holder and you created the account recently, definitely your dividends will be deposited to the bank account directly. However, let's say if you have account, old account, and the details is not updated really, then you might receive a check. And if you really want to get the money deposited directly to the bank account, that is when you have to submit the CDS 28 A form, where your bank details will be updated to the CDS, and the companies will directly transfer the dividend amount to your bank account.
Okay. So we've taken a number of lot of questions. So before winding up the session, I'll just take up one last question. Can Sri Lankans invest in the stock market in other countries while in Sri Lanka? I think it's not really relevant for our stock market. But I will rephrase the questions. Can foreigners or investors in Sri Lankans in other countries, can they invest in Sri Lanka, Chandika?
Yes, you can. As long as you have a valid NIC, you can invest in the Sri Lankan market.
Okay. Okay. So there is a question whether we are doing this session again. I would like to say yes. We are planning to do this session on a periodic basis, especially targeting our new investors. Yes, we are planning on conducting this session periodically, and so possibly every quarter is something we are looking at. So get in touch with us through our WhatsApp channel. You can receive research reports, and if you have any questions, you can contact our advisors, or basically you can just put a message via Facebook Messenger also if you have any questions or problems. So I will let's wind up the session with this final question. What are the advantages of online trading, Chandika?
Yeah. So basically now, like the traditional way, earlier you will have to contact the broker. Likewise, you could do the trading. But if you're really interested in learning the market and everything, it's recommended for you to go with the online trading platform. And also, it depends on your requirement actually. Like let's say you're very, you have no time to trade online, definitely then you might as well go trade with the advisor. But if you do have the time and want to learn about the market, online trading is quite effective.
Thanks a lot, Chandika, for your valuable insights. So with this, we will wind up the sessions. There are a number of more questions to be answered. I would like to suggest for our investors to go to our website and send your questions via Messenger. We are more than willing to answer all your questions. So until we meet again, thanks a lot for joining, and Chandika, thanks a lot for your presentation.
Thank you.